If we're talking about what the future of assessment is in higher education, the real meaning, the real utility of it, I think we're well past accountability mandates. I hear this language all the time, assessment's not going away, so we should just get better at it. I think it's more than that. I think it's a lot more than that, actually. I think it's actually getting interested in what student learning is, telling institutional stories about how much students, not just benchmark levels of how much students are learning, but how much students are actually improving in their learning is to me a much more helpful thing to begin to ask and begin to lift up for students, that they are learning things, but they also have the capacity to improve their learning. This to me signals what the measure of lifelong learning is. The real goal for assessment in higher education is for campuses to get better and more thoughtful about the ways in which they're using data, to not let the endpoint be the gathering of the data itself. We talk about rubrics, we talk about portfolios, and I think all of those things are incredibly helpful, incredibly useful in helping to tell institutional stories, but ultimately you need the storytellers. Ultimately you need people to get engaged in the process of taking that information and doing something with it. I hope very much that faculty get engaged in just the raw inquiry process that comes with asking these kinds of institutional questions about student learning. They think about them in ways that relate to the scholarly approach to research, to the way our minds think critically about our own fields and disciplines, that asking these same kinds of questions about student learning are equally engaging, equally challenging, and equally thoughtful in what we can do to improve the process and keep asking questions about what we can do better, and keep engaging in that inquiry process. So that is, I think, the best use of what assessment will be, is to actually tell those stories and tell those stories in ways that communicate our real intent in higher education as faculty, as administrators, to get